everybody, we have another story. This one is called Wombat Said Come In by Carmen Agra Deedy, illustrated by Brian Lies. There we go, now you can see the cover a little bit. Here he is peeking out at you. Wombat said come in. Wombat was not worried. No, not a little. Fire had passed over his burrow before. Best, he thought, to shelter under my crazy quilt until the trouble passes. But, as it often does, trouble came knocking. Hello, Wombat! Outside was his friend Wallaby, eyes wide with fright. Help, Wombat! I can't reach my home. May I stay with you for a while? Wombat hesitated only for one tick of the clock. Then, Wombat said, Come in! Wombat said, Come in from smoke and din and howling wind. Come in, my friend, come in. So wallabies are similar to kangaroos. I'm not sure what wombats are related to, but they're cute. A grateful wallaby hopped inside and was soon twitching in his sleep under a certain crazy quilt. No worries, thought Wombat. I'll have a cup of tea in my favorite chair instead. But as he lowered himself into that chair, he heard, Woo-hoo, ha-ha-ha! Kookaburra was at the door. He looked scorched and bad-tempered. Dreadful out here, Wombat. Fire's on the march. Spare a room for an old friend? I do have quite a few rooms, thought Wombat. And so, Wombat said, Come in. Wombat said, Come in from smoke and din and howling wind. Come in, my friend, come in. So the kookaburra is a bird. There's a song about kookaburras that I know. And maybe I might sing it at the end. My voice isn't so good, but maybe. With a laugh of purest joy, Kookaburra commandeered Wombat's favorite chair. Kettle on, Wombat? Could do with some tea. Where are my manners, thought Wombat. Before he could fetch his slippers, he heard, Help! I can't! Achoo! Without warning, in tumbled Platypus, and out of the platypus tumbled a jumble of words. Wombat, I can't find my way, and I've lost my shoe, and there's smoke in my nostrils, and... Wombat patted his pockets for a handkerchief. He found 3. Platypus took them all. May I stay with you, dear Wombat? It's so hot. Heat, hotness. Oh, the hotness of it all. How, thought Wombat, does Platypus talk so much and say so little? There was only one thing Wombat could think to do. Platypus is an interesting animal. He's got a bill kind of like a duck, and he's got a tail kind of like a beaver. And he's got little webbed paws. Kind of like a duck. Oh. I think the pages are stuck together. Hold on a second. There we go. Wombat said, Come in. Wombat said, Come in from smoke and din and howling wind. Come in, my friend, come in. Already in, said Platypus. Then she brightened. Ooh, slippers. As Platypus patted away in Wombat's slippers, she trilled, Tea and toast, please, Wombat. I'll be in my room. Tea does make a hard day easier to bear, thought Wombat. His clock chimed in agreement. But you've already guessed that poor Wombat didn't finish preparing that tea and toast. Help! Wombat rushed toward the cry. Stuck! Gasped Koala as he tugged on a sooty eucalyptus branch. Sounding a bit less friendly than he intended, Wombat said, "Come in!" Wombat said, "Come in from smoking din and howling wind. Come in, my friend, come in." "But leave that smelly twig outside," he muttered. "Not smelly," corrected Koala as he gave the branch a yank. He plowed it into the burrow, and down went the clock with a clang-lang-lang. "This day," worried Wombat, "is getting quite out of hand." "You'd like tea, I suppose," he huffed. "No, thanks," murmured Koala. "Only Liptus." "Well, I must have tea," thought Wombat, with 4 lumps of sugar. This sweet thought restored Wombat to his best self, but then he heard, "Wombat bat!" "Sugar glider?" "Fire, fire!" squeaked Sugar glider. "Come in?" "Oh, well, what's one more?" thought Wombat. So, Wombat said, "Come in." Wombat said, "Come in from smoking din and howling wind. Come in, my friend." Thwack! Sugar glider took a flying leap onto Wombat's snout. From there, Sugar glider launched inside and smashed into the hat rack. Zoom! From which he fell onto a nearby tea tray, where he tipped over a bowl of sugar cubes. "Sugar glider, do not touch!" Too late. Sugar glider had snarfed up every last sugar cube. Wombat did not trust himself to speak. Seeing his distress, Sugar glider leapt onto Wombat's shirt, pulled a gooey cube from his mouth, and dropped it into Wombat's paw. Then he scrambled into a pocket. "Sleep, sleep," he cooed. Wombat studied the sticky gift and thought, "What an odd day this has been, but they'll surely go home soon." Wombat was mistaken. Poor Wombat. All his friends in there just causing a ruckus. Days passed. Then one morning, Wombat awoke to an odd smell. No, it's more like a smell that isn't, thought Wombat. He tiptoed past his sleeping guests and peeked outside the burrow. The smoke had cleared. The ground was cool. So, Wombat said, "Go home!" Wombat said, "Go home! It's safe for you to rove and roam, and time for me to be alone. Skedaddle, shoo, go home!" "Thank you," said a small voice. Wombat frowned as he plucked Sugar glider from his pocket. "Go home." Sugar glider sighed. "No home, home to go to." Wombat's ears twitched. He clacked his teeth. He made an odd whickering sound. And finally, Wombat said, "Come in." So this is about the really bad forest fires that were going on in Australia. Was it 2 years ago, I think? A lot of animals lost their homes. And in this story, Wombat was being a good neighbor and letting his friends come and stay with him until they could go home, even though it was kind of an inconvenience for him. But he was, kind and thoughtful enough to let them come in. And then when Sugar glider didn't have a home to go to afterwards, he let him stay for a while. So that's pretty cool. Kind of neat seeing all the different Australian animals. I live in the United States, so the only way we see these kinds of animals is either on TV or at a zoo. So we had the wombat and the platypus and the koala and the wallaby, which is similar to a kangaroo, and a kookaburra. And I said I had a song. Don't get too upset if I don't sound great. I told you I don't have a good voice. But the song is called Kookaburra, and I learned it a long, long, long time ago when I was a little kid. I learned it, I think, from my mom. If not from her, I learned it in Girl Scouts. It's one of those two places. And the song goes, Kookaburra sits in the old gum tree. Merry, merry king of the bush is he. Laugh, Kookaburra, gay your life must be. See, really simple. And we used to sing it in a round. So when the Scouts did do it, because we sang it both ways, with my mom and with the Scouts. She probably taught our Scout troop, actually. If I think about it a little bit, it's been a long, long time. But we would sing it in a round. So after Kookaburra sits in the old gum tree, then the next group would come in. So while the first group was singing the next line, the second group would come in, and so on and so on, and then we'd sing it a couple times. And it sounds really cool that way, but since I'm only one person, I can't sing it in a round. You have to have multiple people. But it is a pretty cool song. I don't know if there might be a video available someplace on YouTube where there's a group singing it. I don't know. But it would be kind of a cool thing to find. I hope you all enjoyed the video, the book, maybe the song. I'll keep an eye out for some more stories I think will be fun to share, and we'll keep an eye out in the future for those. Until then, I hope you enjoyed these stories, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.